Hello, Arch Connect brings you a live webinar today on International Experience in Design Education. Welcome folks. A little that I'd like to share about the journey of the Arch Academy of Design. We've been into the field of design education for the last 17 years. And the very first year, my international experience to the UK, studying a course in contour design at the De Montfort University, opened up a whole new realm of international experience for me. Understanding that how important it is for a design student to be globally aware of what are the trends in design and how the world perceives design and what is the understanding that is really important for a design learner. And today when we look at our journey in 17 years, I'm going to be sharing with you a lot that we have done and how we have brought in internationalization in our curriculum, how we have partnered with our international partners to bring international experience for you here at a city like Jaipur. A city like Jaipur which is really known, you know, the Jaipur Literature Festival, it is a World Heritage Craft City and it has more to it in terms of international experience. It's a destination for the global events, for international matches, to polo playing, to golf, to everything. And when you look at a city like this, where we have our indigenous knowledge, our craft, our resources, and yet we're talking about internationalization. Why? Because everybody wants to know what this land has to offer. And when we talk about Rajasthan, we've experienced that my travel all across the world over various occasions, where recently we become a member of Cumulus. Cumulus is a network of member institutions and universities which has 260 universities and colleges as a part of the network. And they were very keen to partner with us specifically here with Jaipur because they want to learn and know what our indigenous knowledge is. And we are keen to partner with international institutions in Paris, Sweden, London, New York. Why? Because we want to know what is the best that this world has got for us in terms of understanding design. What are the new learnings that needs to be understood when we're talking about innovation in design? And I'm going to be sharing a presentation with you, just take you through the kind of programs that we offer here and the courses, how they are international in character. So can I just have the presentation on? If you look at what we've mentioned here is a Pearson BTech program. Pearson, as you understand, is the largest education company in the world. And when we look at the BTech qualifications, this is the Business and Technical Education Council of the UK. And the Business and Technical Education Council of UK offers qualifications in art and design that are validated all across the world. If you've done a BTech HND level 5, which is first year and second year of college education of UK standards, this allows you to complete a degree in the UK in just 1 year. And that's very interesting because you get a local context and a global understanding, a course that allows you to understand what's really in the global standards in terms of education pathways, in terms of with the direction that the world is taking in terms of understanding design and the application of design, whether it is in the social front through social design or sustainable design or experiential design or interaction design. So when we look at design, design is all pervasive. It is all about the experience that we want to bring in for people, how we can make the lives of people better. And when we're looking at challenges and looking at creation of opportunities, design thinking really becomes important and critical to understand. And the global context allows us to know what are the challenges that the Western world has been through and how design education has been able to resolve these challenges and how the education pathway that is much older and more seasoned in the West. They understood design thinking and design, strategic design, much before our nation actually started even bringing in it. For us, design is a very recent phenomenon. Why? Because we probably took design something which was always available to us. Our heritage really brings to us what really design thinking was. But the new generation needs to understand the real applications of design. And a BTech qualification will allow you to understand that the curriculum and the outcomes, if you look at the learning outcomes, they're so flexible. They allow and they ensure that the learner gets a real-time experience of what's really happening in the industry. We make sure that the projects are collaborative. We ensure that the industry orientation is brought in inside, and because it's a purely vocational framework, a vocational framework which simply means that it will bring a career for you as soon as you do it. So if you go all across the world, a higher national diploma is a standardized curriculum that's accepted all over the world by all nationalities, and one can complete a degree in the UK in just 1 year. As I'm going to repeat it again, a top-up progression degree is that becomes really possible for the student in terms of taking a BTech qualification here at Arch with us. So while we have a 4-year curriculum at Arch Academy of Design, we take you through the foundation course in design, because as a design learner at the school level in India, you've not had much experience to know what design really is. And then the course progresses to another 2 years where you complete your HND. Now you can either complete a 4th year, that's the final graduating year, either here with us at Arch Academy or with our partner institutions in the UK, with whom we have got MOUs, and we've ensured that you get a guaranteed progression and a portfolio that will allow you to ensure that you get this quality education to quality standards and global standards, and that's how you will be able to complete a degree in just 1 year. Otherwise, it's not really possible if you do not have a curriculum here which is of international standards. So if you look at Pearson themselves, they've really tied up with a lot of universities. So here is a list of almost 10 universities in art and design who are offering a progression to the students who completed a BTech Pearson HND. So interestingly, if a 4-year program at Arch Academy of Design, whether you take up a fashion and business program or you take up a fashion and textiles program, we have these programs available in our Gurgaon campus, which is the Millennium City, and we have this available in this beautiful craft city of Jaipur. So either of the campuses will offer you these 2 programs, and if you look at the name of the universities, they are top-notch universities, and you can really take progression through these institutions. Now, and the other thing that we also have is a Pearson assured qualification. As an institution, as you understand that we have an ISO certification or some other kind of certification which gives you quality benchmarking, Pearson also benchmarks the institution as a quality standard institution. And as an assured institution, we give qualifications in other programs which are 1 year or 3-year courses, which are part-time courses. They're all certified by Pearson. Though it does not allow you a progression, but this framework gives you a certification which says that you have a certain understanding and you've gone through an international level of curriculum and education in design. So if you, as I shared with you, that we are looking at a top-up degree, that becomes possible. So a student or a parent really has to invest very less. If you're studying in the UK, you have to do a foundation and then do a 3-year BA program to complete a design degree. But if you take up a course of a 4-year program at Arch Academy of Design, either with a business pathway or a design pathway, you complete 3 years with us and you just complete your degree in just 1 year with the institutions there. I think it's a great incentive for any Indian parent. And I think it's really interesting because the student who's still a young learner after his 12th standard gets to understand the Indian context and then can see the global application of the design understanding. And a joint curriculum is what we are looking at, always trying to enable, such that the progression becomes very smooth for the student into the degree level year. And then we are looking at the academic and the curriculum exchanges and the cultural exchanges. We have summer schools and winter schools spread over these 4 years, where the student can really, or the parent can decide to send his or her ward to for a 2-week summer school, where it's like getting an exposure to the business in the design world. You go to London, you go to Paris, and it becomes a very enlightening experience. We just had a recent student who went to Manchester, and she went on a summer school to University of Salford, and when she came back, she started her business. Her confidence level was enormous. She actually got the confidence to start a full-fledged business, whereas right now she's got around 75 sewing machines that she's put into, and she comes from a very small city close to Kota. So this is what internationalization can do to you. As I shared with you, in the year 2000, when I just started the Arch Academy of Design, and I was teaching myself as a design person, I was teaching fashion. I chose to go for a contour design course at De Montfort University. A 4-week program completely opened up my mind. What were the possibilities that I could create after coming back to India and create a business around design education, which will enable so many young learners to get into the space of creative entrepreneurship. So that is what I see possible when it becomes that the student gets a progression, you get an international exposure, you have networks, understand international methodologies of teaching, and you make very good contacts there. So all this becomes very interesting, and presently we're doing a lot of research projects. Recently we did a project with British Council, which was a UK India Education Research Initiative project. Then we have these collaborative projects, as we just did it with Saxion University based in Holland, and it was a buyer-seller project. So the students, both the sides got an experience. The students there were the buyers and our students were the sellers. So we did the prototyping, and then we sent those prototypes there. They paid us for those prototypes. So it was a very enriching learning experience for students to understand where different markets are available, how they can promote their concepts, their ideas, or their product line into the various segments. So if you look at again the benefits of a Pearson qualification, as I shared, that it's got an international recognition. It's got a research-based system which is highly adaptive to the present scenario. They keep upgrading the curriculum every 5 years. And when you look at this curriculum upgradation, you will see that how best they are able to incorporate the new learnings in the learning outcomes that they mention for us. So learning is all about how to do it, how to experiencing hands-on. So the flexible approach, the classroom approach is not like, it's a rote learning kind of thing. It's all about knowing what's real to your context. So that's what a BTech qualification and international framework allows us here in terms of design. And I understand that design today is the need of the hour. The next decade is all about design education. The world is thinking as design thinkers. India today has a huge opportunity in terms of design education, whereby we've got international pathways that can allow them to really seek the best and know the best and actually, find the best for themselves. So while we're talking about the benefits of HND, we've already shared the flexibility, and it's very cost effective because you don't have to invest all your 4 years there, and then you have improved career prospects because the employers are also looking people with international experience, and the vocational experience gives you the whole ability to understand what the industry context is. Industry is looking at people who can understand what the needs of the business world is. And if you again look at the international linkages and the separate, we have these MOUs which are separate and besides the MOUs that have been done by Pearson. So if you look at Teesside University, you look at Middlesex, you look at De Montfort, University of Salford, Manchester Fashion Institute, which is one of the leading in the world. They are ranked amongst the top 4 fashion schools in the world, where actually in Manchester the whole textile revolution, the industrial revolution started. And then you have the University of Northampton, and then we have an institution in Sweden where we've continuously been having 4 years of exchanges, faculty student exchanges that's been happening. So with the Manchester Fashion Institute, as we are looking at a top-up graduation degree, we're also looking at an add-on and integrated, another 1 year of post-graduation. So after completing 3 years with us, if you do a 2-year integrated master's there, you can complete your UG, your undergraduate and your postgraduate at the same time in just 2 years. And I think these are new pathways that are available in the international world. And an international framework allows you to understand what the international offerings are and keep in pace with what's happening in the space of design education. So I'll share with you our memberships which are there. So if you see that the IFTI, the International Foundation for Fashion Technology Institution, it's got 50 plus member institutions from all over the globe, and we've got the best institutions from the world, including the FIT New York, University of Arts London, FIDM LA, RMIT Australia. I'm glad that Arch Academy of Design, we are a regular member and we sit on the industry subcommittee there, and that allows us to really bring the best for our students. Research opportunities, going for paper presentation. So we have conferences. I just visited for the conference in Amsterdam, it was in Florence, it was in Beijing. So these are the opportunities where students can send in their posters, send in their designs, send in their installation ideas, do paper presentations. Recently, our students just sent in their papers. 4 of them, their papers got selected for the non-Western Fashion Conference at University of Antwerp. So these are the kind of opportunities that get opened up because of the IFTI network. And then we have the Fashion Design Council of India, which is again a very unique opportunity for our fashion students to go and be with the designers, be backstage with them, work with them at the stalls, and make sure that how sales happens. So the World Design Organization is another very international organization which has been there for more than 5 decades, and we are a member there as well. And the Cumulus, as I shared with you, is again an international association for more than 260 institutions in art and design. And we've just tied up with Ecole Boulle and Ecole Dupaire in Paris. They are the premier design schools in the city of Paris for exchanges and internships of our students, and we will also give internships to their students. So it's a win-win situation where they're going to be learning from us natural dyes, block printing, surface ornamentation, and our handcrafted techniques in jewelry or woodwork. And our students would learn from their high-class luxury, high-end, precision in terms of the processes that they adopt for the fashion world. So all these exchanges actually enables and brings the best out of both the partners. So similarly, we've got the Hong Kong Research University Institute, which is there for apparels and textiles, and we have the Indian Institute of Interior Designers, which is again a body which is here, in India, which is an apex body for interior designers and architects. So we keep doing collaborative projects with them. We have the industry coming over and talking to us, doing sessions with us, doing master classes with us. So these kind of opportunities are available to students who are enrolled on the international 4-year program with us. So as you just see that we recently completed the Scotland-Jaipur partnership, and we did the UKD project with the British Council, which is the UK India Education Research Initiative, and we have a design portal which is designcommunication.org. Please do visit, share your resources, share your ideas, share your pictures, videos, and that's a free space for you because you can interact with more like-minded young people and get to know. So a portal like this is very good in terms of learning, whether you go for a formal pathway in design education, take up a degree or not, but you can always use these resources which are available because we are into the business of creating awareness about design. Why? Because design create the quality of life that we want to. We want to address the new challenges of the world. We want to create opportunities for ourselves. We want to create entrepreneurs who are going to be creative, people who will be creating design experience in whatever we do. So these are the opportunities that are available to us while we talking about internationalization of our design education. So the fashion colloquia in London, where we just had we talked about the natural dyes and how it could be a part of the luxury segment, and the non-Western fashion conference where I was a keynote speaker too. So we just did an international cultural governance workshop, which was a 9-country tour with University of Arts London and the University of Antwerp. And it was supported by UNESCO and the European Union. And here in India, we brought the government of Rajasthan to also get associated and get benefit of the work that we are doing. And Arch hosted the event here. Peter Lang is going to be soon publishing the book as an outcome of this tour. So we will be glad to share with you. So while we're talking about think design, we're really talking about making a difference to people and people's lives. We're talking about design making a difference to the way we look at products and services. We need to constantly reinvent and rethink on how we're going to bring in innovation. We're going to constantly look at how design education can address these needs of education in the real time. Right now, what I have now for you is that you can be open to ask me questions, and I'll be more than happy to address them. So as I shared with you that because the BTech HND framework is an international UK based framework, which is first year and second year of college education of UK. A progression means that because the degree institution and the university is in the UK, they cannot award an international degree here in India, which is not legitimate as per the law of the land. The reason why a student needs to go abroad and study in the university to take up the progression and complete the degree here in the UK, because the degree institution, the university, is in its own country, and because the framework is already approved, internationally approved, we can, impart the partial education, which is the first year and the second year here in India, and the student can complete the top-up degree, which is known as a progression degree in the UK. What if I do not want to go abroad? How does BTech HND help me? Well, that's an interesting question. See, India as a nation, we are blooming very fast. We are very international. So there's nothing where I can say, that if you're going to the UK or the US or whatever, is that you become international. We are equally people with the right kind of mindset who are wanting to bring in the global perspective into whatever we do. As an institution also, we are bringing a global perspective. Even if you don't go abroad, it really doesn't matter. You can go for your summer schools, you can go in between, you can go for exchanges, and you can complete your degree here with us. We offer a degree alongside in the 4-year program, where we have an HND embedded into our 4-year course. Our 4-year flagship course also has a BBA degree along with it, which is an affiliated degree with the University of Rajasthan, or a BA degree where we have subjects like garment production and export management, textile craft, drawing and painting. So you get an Indian degree alongside, and you complete an international framework also. And you can complete these 2 qualifications with us here in India at the same time and get the same international experience, because your verifiers, your assessors, your faculty, they're all international, and they bring in that international experience to you from time to time. And with our international partners, we try and see that the podcast and the resources that they have, we are able to share it with our students here. What kind of exposure I will get as a design learner? As I told you that as a city, Jaipur itself is, a really, I would say it's very welcoming for designers, in the sense the city itself gives you a great experience in terms of design learning. And an institution being here in the heart of the city, we are able to connect with our local resources, our master awardee craftsmen. On the campus, you will see we have craftsmen who are, one of them is a master awardee. The other are people who have been into, deep work with the jewelry industry, the handicraft industry, have worked with the garment industry. So the campus is equipped with lot of, equipments, machineries, which you can use hands-on to create your products, and you're going to actually see your ideas getting prototyped. So that's the experience you will get while you're on campus. You have a photography lab, a woodwork lab, a metal lab, a textile lab, a weaving lab, a natural dyes lab, a ceramic lab. So all these are different labs that actually, and the environment is where it's interdisciplinary and integrated. So a student from fashion actually can go to a jewelry lab and to go to a photography lab and use all these facilities across the board. So that becomes a true learning experience for a student. Then the master classes, where you have really very big international designers who are sitting in the city, who are there, who moved from their countries to be a part of this city because of the kind of rich experience. We have almost on board right now 8 international faculties from different parts of the world who are contributing on the various programs. So the kind of experience that you get with your educators, with the environment in the city, and it all makes design really as a very enriching experience for people who study here at Jaipur. Now comes Gurgaon. If you look at Gurgaon, the kind of millennium city it is, you see that the youth population is very big. The corporates are there. The industry is there. The pace of the country can be seen really, if you really see it's in Gurgaon. Why Arch chose to be in Gurgaon is because we could see that there's a huge connect that we could make for our learners. Students who come here get an experience from there, and the students who will be enrolled there will get an experience here. And the industry connect is what we bring for our students as design learners. There are joint projects with the industry that are brought into the classroom, which are classroom projects. There are projects which are, besides the classroom project, there are separate projects as well, which are more event-based projects. Then we have internships which are embedded inside the course. So you can have these internships with the industry there. And a close association with big brands allows the students to understand where and which way the industry is moving. And as a design learner, how do you need to shape up your career as a creative entrepreneur or as a professional, and what direction you need to take. What is the future prospect of research in design or specific fields of design like fashion, interior, jewelry? Interesting. So while I was talking about the graduating year, the 4th year, we've got 2 pathways. Either you have a business pathway or you have a research pathway. So while we talk about design, design has research embedded into it. Right from year 1, when you start with your foundation course, the research aspect is dealt with lot of care to understand what research means, to understand how research will be taken forth, to understand how product development as a process is understood. Research goes into every aspect of understanding why this design process is in this pattern. So research is very innate and very complementing to design. If we don't have research, we don't have design. If we don't have design, we don't have research. So it's like, they're hand in hand. And as in the 4th year, either if you want to take up a business pathway or a research pathway. Research pathway could be more academic, looking at more industry-specific problems, whereas the business pathway could lead you towards entrepreneurship and you looking at your own product ideas or service ideas that needs to be taken to the world. So we have an incubator here in the college to ensure that the students who are really keen on taking up entrepreneurship as a career and they want to set up their own, we will try bringing them angel investors or VCs and help them know how to create their own elevator pitches. The incubator actually supports them, and the e-cell continuously ensures that entrepreneurship is key to any professional as well. Why? If you don't start your business as well, but if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, any employer would love to take you, because every employer wants that his or her colleague can understand the entrepreneur more well, is a risk-taking, is an initiative-driven person, and the initiative is what can really make a designer bloom. Are there short-term international opportunities in summer during breaks? Okay, that's a good question, because yes, during the summer breaks is where we have these summer schools, and the various summer schools which are very differently designed by various schools. So University of Salford would take around Manchester and London, whereas University of Antwerp would take you around Antwerp and Paris and Europe. So it's very interesting to see that there is a very different character to the summer schools as well. And with all the various MOUs that we have with various institutions, all of them are looking for an international experience, whether it is in the UK, globally, or in India. The global partners also want India, because India is rich in its heritage, tradition, resources. They want to know India as a country. They want to work with Indians, because Indians are very innovative and they think that they're really hardworking. They're smart. They're really smart workers. So the Western world also wants to connect with us. So they want to bring, these students to their country as well, and, want to have, and interestingly, if you look at the summer schools, at times they also have, people coming from various other countries being a part of the summer school. So it's a very interesting opportunity for a student to connect and bond and network with other students from across other schools as well. So a summer school is a great way to learn and get an international experience. So there's isn't product design for engineers? Can I learn product design without having a science? So when we talk about design, design is art, science, commerce. I think nobody has ever, probably our teachers at least, don't tell us that, because we as Indians have always compartmentalized our education. Either you are in an art stream or you're in a commerce stream or science. Whereas education today is more interdisciplinary. And I think design education is the most interdisciplinary approach that it has. And if you look at engineering graduates, yes, they have studied science and they got intense into understanding, the intense understanding of design has got them to become engineers. So while we are looking at product design, and when we are looking at design, design has to do a lot with aesthetics, form and function. So all these things are very important, and then when you look at the art aspect comes in. And if a design doesn't sell, the commerce part is lacking to it. So while you are a product designer, you have to understand the aesthetic form and the function. That's really important. You have to understand the business aspect of it also, because whom are you designing this product for? Who is going to be your user? Is it going to be a mass product, or is it going to be a niche product? So all the three aspects of art, of art, commerce and science gets together when we're talking about design. So if you're from a science background, it's perfect to have design. So even if you're an engineer and you want to get into product design, yes, you do have industrial product designs there, which are a little more intense in terms of understanding. If you have an understanding of engineering, maybe it helps. But there are a lot of designers in product design who have not been engineers at all, and they have been great product designers, because it's again interdisciplinary and collaborative. As a designer, you work with an engineer to ensure that you create a good product design. So as you are young people who are looking at venturing into design, my son is also as young as you, and he is going into product design. And at school, he took up combination of subjects from art, science and commerce, which was interesting that his school gave him those options available to him. So I can say that he does not belong to any stream, and he has gotten admission to the best school in the University of Arts, London, that's Central St. Martin's. Because of an interdisciplinary understanding, you will be a better designer. If you have an understanding of science and commerce and arts, you're perfect. Come from any stream, you anyway will have to understand all the parts. That's how businesses move. There are engineering graduates who make great businesses. They're businessmen who make great products. So life keeps changing, and there are opportunities that you can create for yourself. Can creativity and entrepreneurship be combined? Wow, that's a great question, and that's something that connects with me really directly, because creativity and entrepreneurship go again hand in hand. Why? Because if you're not creative as an entrepreneur, you can never succeed. An entrepreneur needs to keep reinventing himself or herself. An entrepreneur is somebody who's an innovator. If you do not have a new idea or a new thought, you can't build on it as a business. And the newness in it, and the creative element in it only allows you to be a great entrepreneur. So creativity, while we're talking about design entrepreneurship, we're talking about creative entrepreneurship. Design learners are today becoming creative entrepreneurs. It gives you a lot of flexibility. It gives you the scope to learn as much as you want. And life as a continuous learning process. You're not stuck by a 9-to-5 routine thing where you're meant to do specific stuff. You're exploring, you're venturing out, you're finding markets, you're finding products, you're looking at materials, you're constantly trying to reinvent yourself in your product or your service that you're offering. So I think it's a great thing that you've asked that, and we call today this as creative entrepreneurship. Okay, so because we have a lot of memberships, international memberships, yes, our students can, after completing their graduation and their masters, they can take on PhD studies. So we have a course like a garment production and export management that's affiliated with the University of Rajasthan. And while our students complete their graduation year, and we've also allowed them to take up an integrated program in the UK, they can then take up their PhD studies in the future. So postgraduate and doctoral studies are pathways because once you have a university level degree education, you can definitely take up PhD studies and take up master's programs. And in India, if you look at, they ask for an eligibility of a 4-year program in terms of if you apply for a master's at the NID or any of the premier institutions like IITs. So it's good to have completed a 4-year undergrad program. So the business incubator is another very interesting thing because, again, as we said, that Arch has a special thrust on creative entrepreneurship. We want to have people live design as an experience, and we want to create design experience in everything that we do here at Arch. And while we're talking about the incubator is again an intent to support our students, because we in the recent years we found that a lot of students want to start their own setups, do small, be happy, keep exploring, and really want to create something new. And that's where the incubator's role really becomes important. And if you look at our entrepreneurship modules, they're right away structured from year 1. So while we have a 4-year course, we also have a 2-year master's level programs, which are all entrepreneurship programs, which is like fashion design and entrepreneurship, interior design and entrepreneurship, jewelry design and entrepreneurship. Why are we talking about entrepreneurship? Because we've seen that there is a huge inclination towards starting one's own business, and supporting that is very important. So the incubator will bring in VCs to angel investors, help you create your business plans, make sure that there's a devil's advocate to make sure that your elevator pitch, and all this is really taken care while you are there on the program at Arch. Which field of design do you believe it will be the next trend in the market? If you look at design, it's not about a field, it's about an understanding. You must have all heard about design thinking. Today, if you talk about Stanford to Harvard to anybody, they're all talking about how to bring in design thinking in the fold of all education pathways. Because design looks at research, facts, process, experience, delight. All these are aspects of design, and in whatever we do, design is almost like it is the foundation. If you build anything on the foundation of design, all pathways and all fields will flourish, and they will create new benchmarks. And design brings the innovation aspect. It brings the differentiator. That's what design can do to, any field. So we today, when any speaker, anybody would anyway quote an iPhone as one of the best design product examples. Why? Because they have really understood what experience they want to bring in for the people. So experience actually drives the whole design process. I think we've really covered a lot of questions, and it's my pleasure that I've been able to share my thoughts with you, and you've been able to share your questions. So you're welcome to our campuses in Gurgaon, which is in the heart of the city there, very close to Huda City Center, and it's going to be a really mesmerizing experience with you for you to be there. Meet the expert faculties with rich experience of 20 years, 10 years, with live project experiences, and they have been educators and have been a part of the industry for so long. So it's going to be very, I really invite you to visit the campus there at Gurgaon, or come here at Jaipur and be here and see and talk to our students and our faculty members and see the work that we've done in the last 17 years. An institution which just started with 3 rooms of my apartment, today is a campus that is internationally known, with international experience that it's giving to its learners. We really invite you to come to Jaipur and Gurgaon and even take up the short-term courses that we have. We have courses which are even 2 weeks. We have courses which are like 6 months. We have programs for industry professionals which are weekend courses in Gurgaon, like based on photography, on creative styling, on product design. So these are the different various programs that we offer. At the undergraduate level, surely we've got 4 main streams, which is fashion textiles, we've got interior and spatial design, we've got product design, and we've got graphic and interior design. And very soon I'm going to be catching up with you again to bring some real good news in the coming weeks to you. So let's wait and watch. Thank you.